The president playing coy on his court picks, not saying who he interviewed today.
Mr. President, who did you speak with, sir? Mr. President.
Only how many candidates he considered.
During the morning, I interviewed and met with 4 potential justices of our great Supreme Court. They are really incredible people. In so many different ways, academically and every other way.
Academically, a Supreme scholar seems to be a high priority, with people familiar with the process telling NBC News the president prefers a graduate from Harvard or Yale. He says he'll have 2 or 3 more interviews this week before a selection, then the Senate sales pitch. Republican Susan Collins, a crucial vote, is now drawing her line in the sand, tied to a key abortion rights ruling, Roe versus Wade.
A candidate for this important position who would overturn Roe v. Wade would not be acceptable to me.
A new poll out today shows most Americans agree with that ruling. While the president made this pledge during his campaign.
Do you want to see the court overturn Roe v. Wade?
Well, if we put another 2 or perhaps 3 justices on, that's really what's going to be, that will happen.
A deflection today on whether that still stands. Would the president like to see Roe v. Wade overturned?
I'm not going to get into any specifics that we would be looking at.
Saying, does he himself, is just a matter of how he feels, his own policy, does he want to see Roe overturned?
Again, as this is ongoing, I'm not going to weigh into anything specific on that front at this point.
The White House did not comment on something else making news today, that new interview with the president's former longtime lawyer. Michael Cohen once said he'd take a bullet for the president, but now he seems to be signaling he might cooperate with federal prosecutors, saying publicly his loyalty is with his family, not his former boss. First, Lester.
And Hallie, on a foreign policy front, we're learning Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is going to go to North Korea again, this time on Thursday.
Yeah, he's leaving this week, Lester, but this trip comes as NBC News is reporting U.S. intelligence agencies believe Pyongyang is secretly making more fuel for nuclear weapons. That's even after, as you remember, the country pledged to work toward denuclearization during that Singapore summit. The White House today would not confirm or deny that, but said they do believe they're still making progress.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here. And click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.